Let's cut to the chase. Call of Duty World War II came out today. And like any other blockbuster video game, before you drop all that cash on it, you're gonna want to know if it's worth your time, if you haven't already tested things out in the beta. So we've compiled a list of the most important top 10 things you'll need to know before you buy the game. Let's jump in. And at number 10 is the story campaign. The campaign tells the story of a single squad in the 1st Infantry Division during their battle on the Western Front. These include the Battle of Achaean, the Battle of the Bulge, and the invasion of Normandy. In previous Call of Duty games, campaigns have run between 5 to 7 hours in terms of length, and while we haven't been given an exact number by developer Sledgehammer Games yet, they have revealed that this campaign will be a bit longer than the campaign in Advanced Warfare. Up next, number 9 is Divisions. On the flip side of that, let's talk multiplayer. A new feature called Divisions will be introduced, straying away from the multiplayer mechanics that we're used to. No more create a class. You can choose from 5 divisions, all of which have their pros and cons. These include infantry, airborne, mountain, expeditionary, and armored, all of which vary in division skill and training. Up next, number 8 is zombie mode. Taking a page from previous games that included zombie mode, World War II will also feature its own mode where you get to combat the undead. Yes, Nazi zombies. They're stepping up their zombie game though, with the mode even having its own campaign that takes place on an alternate timeline, where the Third Reich creates an army of undead in hopes to win the war in its final days. Apparently it plays a little bit like Dead Space, and even has its own 4-class system and perks. Up next, number 7 is War Mode. Speaking of different modes, we'll also get a new one called War Mode that people are pretty excited about. Playing 6v6, you take turns playing as the Axis or allies, competing a series of objective-driven conflicts, similar to Battlefield 1's Operations Mode. Developers have said that it's a return to the strategic, grounded, fast action of multiplayer where we began. There's also a lack of ammo pickups, leading players to work together to fulfill their needs. And at number 6 is Boots on the Ground. If you've been following any of the information released by Sledgehammer, you'll know that Boots on the Ground seems like their new favorite catchphrase. The boots on the ground approach World War II takes means that in terms of movement, we won't be seeing the kinds of tricks previous games have given us, but rather a lot of sprinting and leaping into cover rather than sliding, to better mimic the environment and the warfare of World War II. Expect that this will make a large impact on multiplayer as much as it will the campaign. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our number 5, different mechanics. Let's go over some of the new mechanics we'll be seeing in the game. There's a few new game mechanics that actually surround cover. You'll be able to grab and drag your squad members or allies down into cover in order to heal them or to remove them from the line of fire. Then there's the metagame leveling system, where players now get XP for completing objectives and killing enemies, all going towards improving your character's skills. Players on beta have commented that so far the maps released are smaller than Modern Warfare, and feel a little bit more constrained. And lastly, it's also been revealed that there's a portion of the campaign where you get to drive a tank. Up next, number 4, no Health Regeneration. Note that this is for single player in the campaign, not multiplayer. Despite Health Regeneration being a commonly shared trait amongst games in the first-person shooter genre, it's a component that's been abandoned in parts of World War II. Instead, you'll have to rely on health packs found throughout the game's landscape, making the ones your squad is provided with essential to your survival in the campaign. And our number 3 spot is Headquarters. While the new Headquarters feature wasn't in the beta, we still have a rough idea of what to expect about this new addition. Essentially, Headquarters is a social hub for everything World War II online. Set on Omaha Beach, it lets players take part in different activities that include objectives like testing out your score streaks in a practice field, hitting up a firing range, looting, and one-on-one fights with other players that can actually be watched by players not participating in the fight. And our number 2 spot is emphasis on less intimidating. Many critics who played the beta version of the game have noted a few differences between World War II and the rest of the franchise. Differences that seem geared towards making the game seem less intimidating and more fair for new players, perhaps in hopes to attract new audiences. Kill streaks have been pared back to a useful bonus, as opposed to a game-altering advantageous move. Perks are practically non-existent. One of the 5 division types is labeled as being perfect for beginners, and a few noted that dying immediately after you respawn happened rarely. And finally, in our number 1 spot is no Killcam. The Killcam has been scratched from World War II and replaced with a feature called Bronze Star, which critics have noted is quite similar to the mechanics in Overwatch. Bronze Star, which won't be a part of the Search and Destroy mode, is a recap of sorts at the end of the match, highlighting the best and most impressive kills. Alright, there we have it guys. Are you still planning on buying the game? Let us know in those comments below, and tell us what other upcoming games you'd like us to do a before buying list on. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you guys want more gaming lists, feel free to hit that subscribe button and head over to our channel, and check out our next video from our top 10 gaming recent uploads playlist.